Well, welcome everybody. So whether you're joining us live or watching the recording, we're so glad that you came to join us today to learn more about the place, this wonderful itinerary with AmaWaterways. And we are Suzanne and Steve Clausen. We're the owners of CruiseOne in Show Low, Arizona. And this afternoon, we're pleased to welcome some special guests. We already have Scotty Horn from AmaWaterways already on the call, and David Bauer is going to try to join us. He did have an unexpected funeral to go to today, so he's hoping that he'll be able to get out of there in time to join the call. But if not, I'll just cover all the stuff about Los Milics. So onward we go. Well, if you're new to my agency, or maybe you found us through advertising, you're watching this on our YouTube channel, I want my clients to get to know me. I want you to feel comfortable booking with me. I build really strong relationships with my clients, and my goal is for them to have dream vacations. Clients are never just a transaction, and some of the people that I consider some of my closest friends are folks that started with me as my clients, and we've cruised together on some of our hosted cruises together. Steve and myself are avid travelers. With the internet being so good on cruise ships now, we are able to run our business from really anywhere in the world. And we consider when we travel an investment in our business. We use that firsthand experience that we have to help deliver exceptional experiences for our clients. This is our 11th year in business. In 2019, I received the Opal Award, and that's for community service and sales leadership. In 2020 and 2021, I used my downtime. I earned my Master Cruise Counselor from the Cruise Line International Association. And in 2023, I finished in the top 2% of CruiseOne/Dream Vacation franchises. And also in 2023, I earned CLIA's highest level of certifications for travel professionals, and that is their Elite Cruise Counselor certification. I've been traveling for 48 years. This is my very first cruise, 3-day Bahama, when I was just 8 years old. And my dad was in sales. If he had a good year, he would take the whole family on a cruise. And I've been a travel bug ever since. Now I want to introduce Scotty. He is going to introduce us to AmaWaterways and talk a little bit about the brand. And then I'm going to share with you the itinerary for this cruise. So take it away, Scotty.
Well, thank you so much, Suzanne. It's great to be with you all and really a pleasure to share the AMA experience with you, hopefully virtually here, but in reality very soon as you would board and sail with us. AMA truly means love in both Latin and Italian, and we believe that the love of the river comes from the heart of our people. And so with you experiencing the heart of Europe, with the wonderful staff that we have, we are really leading the way all the time in the industry. And we have an incredible ownership team. Rudy Schreiner, his lovely wife, Christine, and a third gentleman is a partner. His dad was actually the co-founder, Mr. Jimmy Murphy, but Gary is carrying on for him since we lost Jimmy just a few years ago. But Rudy and Christine are engineers. They are both highly educated. Rudy started his career at the age of 17 when he built his first cabin cruiser on the Amazon, and they named him the godfather of the river. He actually also founded or was a president for a while at Viking, helped the leadership team at Uniworld, and realized he could just do a better job on his own, and he certainly has. We are now 22 years in the business, and we have won numerous awards, are the highest rated by our travel agent partners, both in Europe and here in the US. And 96% of our business comes through travel partners. So we really highly recommend that you always use a travel agent. And for that reason, again, when you have 96% of your business coming through that channel, and then they're rating you the highest in service and in quality, then that really does stand for something. We have there a wonderful picture of the rivers that we sail through Europe. We are sailing from far northwest all the way down through Central and Southeast Europe, almost out to the Black Sea. We are also on the Chobe in Africa. What makes that so unique is that you're only 4 days on the river. Our captain and our naturalists that are on board know where the wildlife are migrating. So we might pull up to the riverbank and you'll watch a cheetah capture its dinner. You might in the morning be only 100 yards downriver because there is no real itinerary, but that's where we're going to be with a herd of elephants as you wake up in the morning, standing on your balcony, getting sprayed by them bathing themselves. Just makes that so unique. You've got then 12 additional nights that will take you from the top of the river all the way through Kruger National Park up to Johannesburg, the Cape, and wonderful visits to Victoria Falls. We are on the Mekong between Cambodia and Vietnam. Starting this fall, we will be on Colombia's Magdalena River as well. And then in the spring, we have 5 new ships being built, and one of them will be with us in Colombia. And we're on the Nile in Egypt. One nice note about the Egypt cruises right now, folks are coming back, sharing on their own Facebook pages, posting on ours, just how safe they feel, how quiet and wonderful things are. They're getting to visit the pyramids, the Sphinx, the Valley of the Kings, and Luxor, and really having a wonderful time. Moving on. So let me talk a bit about some of the things that make us innovators. And one of them is our twin balcony. Our owner, Rudy, designed this so that you would have all the livable space in the stateroom, open a sliding glass door, and there it is right there up against the edge of the ship. And so there's a railing to protect you. But then to give you an opportunity to sit outside with 2 chairs and a table, you do have from the bedroom portion of your stateroom the ability to open that sliding glass door and do just that. Have an outdoor sitting balcony. And so in one stateroom, to have what we call a twin balcony experience is really unique. Our wellness program is just phenomenal, and I'm going to talk about that in detail in just a moment. We're all about sustainability, taking care of our environment, giving off fewer emissions, single-use plastics, things like that. And then on our ship, the AmaMagna, that we're going to really discuss here in just a moment. You see it pictured up there in the top of the picture, but you see the young lady getting ready to play pickleball. That's our owner, Christine herself, and she is very athletic. You wouldn't believe she's nearing her 70s, but my goodness, this gal is really fit and loves pickleball. And yes, we do have a full-size pickleball court on our AmaMagna. So let's talk about the luxury of space. Now, we love to give you as much footprint space per guest as we possibly can. The AmaMagna is twice as wide as any other ship on the Magna, or on the Danube, excuse me, and she's also longer. There's another brand that you might be more familiar with. They call their ships the long ships, but even when we're longer than that and twice as wide, we're carrying only 196 guests. They're carrying 179. So there is more footprint space per guest. Look at the picture on the top, a wonderful balconied stateroom, beautiful granite countertop, plenty of storage space, and you've got a flat screen TV, and there is that beautiful French balcony. Pictured there in the middle is just that twin balcony that I spoke of a moment ago. All the living space you'd want internally, stepping out to the French balcony, and from the bedroom side, there's your outdoor sitting balcony. And down below, getting into our suites, you've got separate living room and bedroom spaces. Just amazing opportunities for the space that fits you. Our excursions are incredible because we do many different things with them and give you many different options. Starting with every excursion is included. You can take 3, 4, maybe 5 a day, and they're all going to be included. And they're not just walking tours, because I know there's a brand out there that gives you 1 tour a day, and it's a walking tour. Ours will include motor coaches. They will also include the entrances to castles, cathedrals, museums, wine tastings. Anything you could imagine and want in your excursion, it's included. Now, we also offer 3 types of excursions. High impact, giving you the opportunity to climb 88 stairs if that's what you want to do, up to the top of the precipice to get to the monasteries or a church, or just even a great vantage point. But then there's the average walking tour, and it might have some motor coach aspects, but you also have the opportunity for bicycles. Everywhere in Europe, France, Northern Europe, Amsterdam, you name it, we have 25 pedal bicycles that live on board our ships, everywhere except the Douro between Portugal and Spain. And that's because that just does not allow for biking due to the geography and the topography of the area. It just is not suitable. So everywhere else, we have pedal bicycles. They live on board. You can take one off, go out on your own, or go with a guide and be part of a guided bicycling tour that might go anywhere from 5, 15, up to 25 miles in the excursion. And then we have gentle excursions. Gentle excursions are for those who want to go just a little bit slower, might need to take a little more time, sit and have a beverage after they've gone into a church or a cathedral, maybe have a glass of water or juice or tea or even a glass of wine, and the guide will go just as slowly with you for that. Now, keep in mind that we keep our group sizes really small on our excursions. 9 people, 12 people, 15, or at most 18. And if we don't sell out, because again, you don't have to buy them, you don't have to make reservations in advance, although you can, but you can make a reservation in advance. You can change your mind just moments before we're ready to leave, or you might not even decide what you're doing at all until we're just about ready to leave. And that's okay. If we end up filling up a group, we'll just get another guide and we'll then create a new group for it. And if we end up getting a large group, we'll get another guide, we'll split the group in half, and we've got really small little groups. It's just a great way to do an excursion with AmaWaterways. Now, our cuisine, we are really honored to be part of Table la Bouge, and I know I can't say that right, but it's Abouge, and that is an honorary program to be invited to even participate and compete, and then we have won. We're also members of the prestigious group of the Chaîne de Rôtisserie, and I know I don't say that exactly right. I need to practice my French more, but that again is an invited invitation organization. Now, our food is the freshest you're going to find. It's procured every day from the farmer's market, the fish and meat markets. Nothing is ever frozen. We only will find ice cream and ice cubes in our freezers. And in addition to that, we have no microwaves. So nothing is rapidly prepared. Every dietary need, request can be honored and is honored all the time. It is just an amazing dining experience, even when you're in our main dining room. And then we have some additional dining options for you. On the AmaMagna, there are 4, all complimentary all the time. We have a bistro restaurant, Jimmy's, named after one of our co-founders. And then we have the main dining room, and we have our chef's table. The chef's table experience is where we will prepare 5 courses, pair each course with a different wine. It's prepared right in front of you, and then it is introduced by the chef and the maitre d'. So our dining is exceptional. We have a wonderful way for you to enjoy cocktails all the time. Now, starting with breakfast, champagne and mimosas, beer and wine, if you want it, is available. But certainly at lunch and dinner, it's complimentary, flowing freely, IPA beers and fresh, beautiful wines of the region. Nothing is just a house wine. But then you may want a cocktail in the afternoon or the evening, and you certainly can participate in that. But what we give you complimentary is our sip and sail cocktail party for about 90 minutes before the evening meal. Every cocktail you can imagine, martinis, Manhattans, old fashions, name the drink, and it's complimentary. Now, if you want to drink in the middle of the afternoon or late night, feel free to do that. We don't have drink packages. There's no reason for them, but the bar prices that we charge aren't even current common bar prices. Their most expensive that I noticed on our menu was about €7.50. Most of them were €5. Really an inexpensive way to enjoy cocktails on board AmaWaterways. Our wellness program, as I alluded to earlier, we have wellness hosts on board. These folks are only there for your well-being, and that's all they're concentrating on. They're not there to wait tables other times or tend bar or do anything else. They are just there for your well-being. Now, if you'd like to take yoga at sunrise, feel free. I jokingly always say the only way I'm doing yoga at sunrise is with a mimosa in my hand. But otherwise, there you go. And then we do have a gym. So in going into the gym, if you needed a personal trainer, maybe you have one at home and you want to continue on that same program, the wellness host is there to help you and assist you with that as well. The AmaMagna is the ship that you're going to be sailing on if you join Miss Susan and her husband on this wonderful group experience. So Susan and Steve, I think they're familiar with the AmaMagna a bit, but oh my goodness. As I mentioned, she's the largest vessel on the Danube. Only the Danube can handle her. She is 196 guests, but as I said earlier too, she's twice as wide and she's longer than any other vessel. She's got those 4 dining rooms that I mentioned. She has a full-size pickleball court on board, and those 4 restaurants are just amazing. So as we move on and look at the itinerary you're going to actually sail on the Lower Danube, you're going to really get to visit some amazing ports of call. And because Susan and her husband have done part of these, I have gone to a few of them. I'm going to let Susan take back over and share with you a little bit more about the specific things and the ports you're going to get to visit if you join her in her group.
All right. All right. Thank you, Scotty. So we are super excited to be able to take a group of people back to this wonderful destination. The castle you see behind me in my my little virtual background is actually one of the places that you will visit on this itinerary. So let's talk a little bit about it. Just really quickly, I want to mention something. Scotty, I think, actually kind of misspoke. He said a beautiful French balcony. On the AmaMagna, they are outside balconies. So you open the store, you go out there, there is a little deck that you can step on. So that's one of the wonderful things about the AmaMagna on the Danube is the fact that you have this wonderful outside balcony. Because of the double width of the ship, you have the ability to put a full-size outside balcony. Whereas on other cruise lines, they have to take space from your room to make that balcony. On this ship, there's plenty of room to do that.
You are so correct, because I'm used to smaller ships and I'm used to our smaller vessels, the AmaBella, the AmaSienna, and those, and they are French balconies. And you are absolutely right. On the Magna, they're all true outdoor balconies, outside sitting balconies.
Yeah, which is
Sorry
fabulous.
about that.
So that's okay. So let's take a look at the itinerary. We start in Budapest, one of my favorite cities, and I have some pictures of Budapest here in this presentation. And then you go all the way down to Romania, and then you can you fly home from Budapest, not Budapest, Bucharest, the other big B, yes. So take a look at some of these beautiful cities in Hungary that you'll visit. You can bike from Mohex through the Danube-Drava National Park. It's a protected floodplain along the Danube River. Pécs is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. In there, St. Peter's Basilica is one of those. There's also a mosque and another UNESCO World Heritage Site, a Christian necropolis. Hungary is a beautiful country, so this is just a wonderful chance. There's also and I got to see if I can pronounce it, the Szekczard wine region, which is really nice because this is a wine lovers cruise. So that will be something that we'll be able to try some of the local wines in the area. We're also going to visit Croatia, Vukovar, Croatia, and you can see there's both modern and historic buildings there. A wonderful place to visit. Then Serbia. So we go into Serbia. There's a beautiful fortress that you can visit in Belgrade. Also, the Santa Sava Cathedral there. It looks like it is a classical piece of artwork. It was finished in the 20th century. They had wanted to build this cathedral during the communist times and never were able to get permission. So they built this beautiful cathedral. And I have some pictures of it coming later in my own personal slides. You visit Novi Sad, Serbia. And one of the highlights of that is learning how to make some of the local breads and cuisines. Another thing is that we bring the local customs and traditions on board. the AmaMagna. So it is a really good chance to learn about the culture, the history, the costumes, the history behind these costumes. All of this is brought on board the ship for your enjoyment. And the Iron Gates. The Iron Gates is a very famous part of the Danube River. It used to be one of the most treacherous because of the rapids that were located there in that area. And in the 1960s, the Romanians, let me think, it's the Romanians and the Serbians, or would have been in the Yugoslavians, yeah, built a hydroelectric dam, and it essentially turned this portion of the Danube into a lake. And so it is actually it's a beautiful gorge, and it's very calm waters because it's now a lake. This is one of the, I believe this is the largest naturally carved, or not naturally carved, but carved statue. And he represents a hero in Romanian history. So amazing, beautiful things along the Iron Gates. Also in Bulgaria, you get to go to a yogurt making. So again, you're getting to really immerse in the local culture and the local traditions when you are cruising with AmaWaterways. And all these things are included at no extra charge. Veliko Tarnova. This is a beautiful capital city of Romania, excuse me, of Bulgaria. It once was the capital. Well, this castle is up on top of the hill. There was a wonderful story about the man who went from being a peasant down below to like the king in like a period of 6 weeks because he led a peasant revolt and they made him king. So very interesting history here. A wonderful place to visit, lots of shops. This is a educational town. There's lots of universities here. Our fitness instructor on one of our cruises graduated from the university here. Then you'll also visit, no, this is not Paris. This is Bucharest. And Bucharest is sort of the Paris of Eastern Europe. They have this Arc de Triomphe. They also are home to the world's largest government administrative building. Not sure if that's a good thing or bad thing, but it was built during the time of Ceausescu, where he really wanted to modernize the city and make impression on the rest of the world as how wonderful Romania was. If you do the extension to Transylvania, I highly recommend this. You will go visit the Bran Castle. You will also have a chance to visit some of these lovely imperial cities in Transylvania and visit the Palace Castle. And I have, again, some pictures of this. Both of these things are worth the extra trip. And there's even so much more, like these beautiful imperial cities that were once part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. You also may choose to add, instead of Transylvania, a 3-night extension to Istanbul. Now, this is someplace I've never been, but of course, Istanbul is known for its famous markets, its old world churches, its old mosques, wonderful place, wonderful things to see. And of course, the Bosphorus is the channel between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean, or I guess it's technically probably like the Adriatic or the Aegean there, but a wonderful channel that you can do wonderful things. Just a beautiful place to visit. If you want to do a pre-cruise, there's also the option of doing 2 nights in Vienna pre-cruise. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit now. So we talked about the itinerary, the extensions. I'm going to talk about why we love AmaWaterways so much. So here's some pictures from our Godmother cruise in December. Debbie Fiorino, who is the Chief Operating Officer of our CruiseOne Dream Vacations company, she is the godmother of the Ama Sienna. And we took this fabulous cruise in December. Christine is there. She was there with us. I'm not in that picture, but Christine is there. There's Diane. She is our national accounts rep who is out of Florida. And this is Debbie's picture that hangs on the wall. We've had a special relationship with AmaWaterways since they were created several years ago. And it's such a great treat to work with them because they are, again, they so much support the travel agent industry. and they have a wonderful quality product that we can put our clients on and know that they're not going to be disappointed. We sell dream vacations. We don't want to sell nightmares. And we know that Ama is going to always deliver on that. These are some of my own personal pictures from that cruise, just to give you an idea of what the food looks like. It is a combination of both local foods and international foods. The meats, everything was fresh, delicious, very well prepared. And you could tell that there was just love in every single dish. We also enjoyed the dinner at the chef's table. This is a wonderful experience. And of course, this was at Christmas time, so you see all the Christmas decorations. I'm also going to recommend that at some point in your life, you do a Christmas markets cruise with AmaWaterways, because they really decorate the ships and really show out examples of that love. This is when they're toasting Debbie, who they were just recognizing her as the godmother of the ship. And then we have this lovely picture on one night, everybody who worked on the ship dressed up as angels or elves or Santa Claus and sang Christmas carols, and just gave us a wonderful little gift. We all got little stuffed bears that said AmaWaterways. Just a lot of love. Now, these are some of my own personal pictures from when Steve and I traveled to this part of the world in 2022. We love to travel, and there we are at that castle that you see in a lot of the pictures. When you come into Budapest, you are definitely going to want to visit the marketplace there. It is a wonderful place for food, wine, culture, history. And almost everybody in Hungary speaks English, because nobody can speak Hungarian. So they learn English in like grade school because it's an international language. Anybody who comes to visit Hungary, if they speak English, even if they're from Germany or Spain, they'll be able to communicate. So it's wonderful because so many people there do speak English. This is the beautiful St. Stephen's Cathedral lit up at night. My mom and my stepdad went to mass a little bit earlier in the day there. They said it was beautiful. It was all in Hungarian, but they had just missed. If they had gone at 5 o'clock, it would have been the English mass. They went to like 6:30. They missed the English mass. This is in Serbia, in Belgrade. This is that beautiful cathedral there's still even a little work being done on it, but it was basically completed at the end of the 20th century. Absolutely stunning. There's the Gulabak Fortress, which is, it was beautifully restored. It is a wonderful place to visit and explore around. They let you climb up some of the towers. Some of the ones up here, you have to be with like a mountain climbing group to climb up to those. But these that are right on here, you can climb up, and beautiful views from there. Veliko Tarnova, again, we hiked up this big hill, went up and saw the little chapel up there. Beautiful city. Looking forward to going back there again. And then Transylvania. So we kind of expected a little silliness at a Bron Castle. When we were there, they were having they were setting up for some sort of party, and this guy was dressed as Vlad the Impaler. And Mandy and I were taking this picture, and literally right as Steve took the picture, he jumped out and went boo, and we went like this, and they got scared. But the Bron Castle is absolutely fabulous place to visit. And then in Brasov, that is a beautiful imperial city. So many beautiful buildings, history, architecture, and the Pelish Castle. I just zoomed in on this carving in the Pelish Castle just to give you an example of the type of artwork that is in this place. Absolutely stunning place to visit. So I highly recommend the Transylvania extension. I haven't done the Istanbul, but I'm sure it's equally as wonderful, because Ama is all about finding those wonderful places for you to visit. And then no matter whether you do the Transylvania extension or not, you do go to Bucharest, you might want to extend some time. The food there was fantastic. Somebody ordered the meat plate. I was like, this would feed like a whole family. That was absolutely amazing. And there, Steve and I are in front of that world's largest government building. And then we're going to answer the question, so what is a celebration of wine cruise? Because that is what this cruise is. So this is going to be a celebration of wine cruise that's hosted by a North American host. And that's going to be David Bauer from Los Milics. And I don't believe he's been able to join us. Like I said, he's coming from a funeral, so he was going to try to pop in, but we may not see him today. He is going to be our wine host. So there's a couple different types of the celebration of wine cruises, but basically included in your cruise excursions are going to be these wonderful vineyard and cellar tours. You're going to have some authentic encounters with artisans and vintners, and they're going to be able to share their personal, winemaking, why they make this type of wine, why they bottle it, all the different things that make their wine a unique art. And then there's also a chance to do some food and wine pairing as part of that cruise. Now, David is going to be hosting. He is going to be bringing wines from the Arizona winery Los Milics. And I have some pictures of that in a second. This is absolutely stunning winery. Just look at their no, wait, this isn't them. This is just some highlights. And I know this is an eye chart, but basically it's going to include 2 lectures on board with David Bauer. There'll be a special sip and sail happy hour with the wine from Los Milics. And we'll have one featured wine and food pairing collaboration between AmaWaterways and David at Los Milics. And then wine tasting excursions in most every port that we visit.
I want to just add, that's going to be in addition to the Chef's Table restaurant experience. So that is a special just for the group as well.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Well, this, believe it or not, is the tasting room at Los Milics in Sonoita. It's an absolutely stunning venue. You could tell they put so much thought into the venue. Imagine how much thought and care they put into their wine. These are the varietals that they are growing out in, I think there actually might be Elgin, because Sonoita Elgin is a appellation designate. So these are just some of the different varietals. A lot of these are ones that grow very well in warmer climates like what we have in Sonoita, Arizona. They are at 5,000 feet elevation if you're not familiar with the area. So it does have some cooler nights. It's not as hot as the valleys, Tucson and Phoenix. And it has this wonderful soil that's very much like the soil in Bordeaux. So the grapes really, really benefit from the soil as well as the climate. Here's some of their different wines that they're making. We tried a couple of these a couple weeks ago, and I have some pictures of us when we were out there. That's the tasting room. We sat right there and had lunch and wine and really enjoyed it. It was a fabulous experience. The view this is called Biscuit Mountain. Steve and I actually lived in this area for, how long were we there? 15 years? 14 years in this area. We lived 10 miles away from this winery. So there we are having lunch with Los Milics. You can see the beautiful view from the winery. They just put a lot of attention to detail, and you can taste that in the wine as well. It's some of the best wines I've ever had from Arizona. So I've got a couple of slides to share with you a little bit more about the accommodations on the Magna, so you can get an idea of what the room's like. As far as I know, the owner's suite is still available for booking. It is an extremely large size. It even has a dining table. I mean, look at that bath. You could put a family of 4 just in the bathroom. It's a very, very nice accommodation. There's also a couple of these grand suites, and as far as I know, these are all still available. Again, a very nice bathroom with a bathtub, and again, that full walkout balcony. And then this is the veranda suite. There are a couple of these on the upper deck and a couple of these on the main deck. Again, very, very large accommodations for river cruising. And there's multiple of these, which is very nice. And this is the standard veranda. So this is probably, at 252 square feet, that's even bigger than what you get on most ocean cruises for a standard veranda. So very, very lovely, generous accommodations that you don't really see too much on the rivers due to the size limitations. And even the river view rooms have nice big picture windows in them. And they're pretty much almost the same size as the balcony cabins, just a little bit smaller, but still over 200 square feet for the Riverview cabins. And I'm going to give you a little bit of idea of what our pricing is with current promotion. So what you're seeing here is your price per person based on double occupancy. And let's see, if you book by March 31st of 2024, you'll receive one of the following benefits. So you can either get $1,000 off these rates that you see here, or if you wanted to do one of those lands extensions, you got to book by March 31st, you could do one of those for free. So you could do the Brasov one, which I think I might have the pricing on. Yes, I have the pricing here. So if you look at so if you did the Vienna, you're better to take the $1,000 off. But if you do the Transylvania one, that one works. Now the Istanbul one, I did confirm that the Istanbul is not included as a free one. It's not. So it's either the Brasov or the Brasov, and I think it might just be these two. I don't think with the additional 2 nights. Oh, it is the 2 nights in Bucharest. Okay, is this the same thing?
It's
Did I just put it on there twice?
No, yeah, you did. The third one at the bottom should be Istanbul. It's wrong.
Oh, okay.
We did that last time. We didn't fix it. That's not very good.
We didn't fix it. Okay. Well, the Istanbul's not included anyway. So
well, you can still do it. It's just you can't use the $1,000. You can't do it as one of your options.
Yeah, you get the $1,000 off, and then
right.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it. Yes. Okay. All right. So I didn't fix that slide. All right. Now we have time for questions and answers. So I am going to just kind of put this slide up. And if you have questions, you can ask me or Scotty any questions that you have.
Hello. There you go.
Hey, Daniel.
Yeah, hi. This is a question for Scotty. We were on a river cruise in France, south of France, a few years back. I won't tell you which line, but
that's okay.
We found ourselves. We didn't have a balcony, but some people we knew had a balcony on the cruise ship, and we found ourselves parked next to some other ships, so that they wouldn't have to pay double dockage fees, I guess, in the little towns. And it seemed to be kind of a lost. You really lost a lot of your nice balcony use when you could just reach out and touch somebody else's balcony.
They're tethered. That's a very typical thing because of docking space that's even permitted or that is available. So that's not because they were trying to save money. It's because of the way they have to dock. Because of what we have arranged and our owners, we rarely have to tether. So you will find many times we are not tethering anywhere. And when we do, it's a rarity. In the southern part of the Danube, we don't have to tether. So you won't find us tethered up to another ship unless something goes dramatically wrong. And that shouldn't happen.
So that means on this particular itinerary, that would not happen?
We're not expecting that to happen at all. That's correct. Tethering is not something that AMA runs into frequently whatsoever. I mean, it happens. It happens more up in the Amsterdam and the northern part of the Rhine, but does not happen so often on the Danube.
All right, thanks.
Susan, have you had any different experiences with that with us?
Well,
it's not very...
our cruise is not so we had, and this is maybe something to discuss about because people always ask this: what happens if there's river level problems? So in December we had the Rhine River was too high because they had a big snowstorm, and then it warmed up and the Rhine River was too high. The boats could not go underneath the bridges, and the way that AMA handled it was absolutely fabulous because they had us do a ship swap. But before we did that, we did take short coach tours. So this is the thing, maybe an hour in the coach. It wasn't like they bust us for 4 hours to go see something. So short coach tours to the local towns to see the Christmas markets. And then we did a ship swap, and they sent us to Antwerp, and the people came from Antwerp and got on our ship and were able to do Alsace. So that is something that can always happen. And the thing I like about it is that AMA, they actually gave everyone in our group, because of that inconvenience, a 75% future cruise credit for that cruise. And the competitors will bus you to wherever is on the itinerary and won't give you diddly squat. So we were really, really pleased with the way that AMA handled it. And they didn't do it just for us on the Godmother cruise. They did it for everyone who was on the Rhine that was affected. So that's something that I was super impressed with. I was also impressed with the quality of the tours that they were able to still provide to us, even though we couldn't sail on a river. Now, on this lower part of the Danube, that would be a rare occurrence because they have the hydroelectric dam that separates the iron gates from the rest. So that is also a flood control issue. They would be able to open the spillways, more water would go down. If the river levels were dropping, they would, it's a lake. I mean, it would have to drop really, really far down to not be able to navigate this part of the Danube. So, that's something that not all river cruise lines handle that issue equally. And AMA, I can tell you, does a super, super job with it. We didn't feel like we missed out on anything. And then at the end of the cruise, they announced, well, we're giving you a 75% future cruise credit. So we were super impressed with just the love and the care that they saw, that, they wanted to make sure that we had a chance to come back and experience the full river cruise experience.
I want to just real quickly, since we didn't have it correct on that one slide, if there was interest in the 3-night Istanbul package, it goes for $19.95 per person.
All right, Dick, go ahead.
Yeah, I just was curious about the logistics, flying into where, and especially with the extension, how is that handled, getting from point A to point B?
Well, I can talk about flying into Budapest and out of Bucharest. Because Budapest you can get to from almost any major airport in Europe. You can fly from London, I think Frankfurt, Munich, Amsterdam. I mean, you're going to be able to take hopefully one flight to Europe and then one flight to Budapest. And then coming home from Bucharest, we were able to do the same thing. We went Bucharest to London, London to Phoenix. Scotty, do you have any idea? Because there is flights required for that Istanbul excursion. Do you know how that is handled? Is that included in the price?
You can do it. Yes. If you're doing our excursion, and then you're wanting us to do the air, we will do the air for you as though it was home from Istanbul and into Budapest for the beginning of your sailing. So yes, it would be treated very much the same. When you book our air, we're handling all the transfers from the airport to your first hotel or to the ship, or from that hotel at the end of your post experience to the airport. And that transfer is included when you're buying our package. So either a pre or post includes the transfer to or from the airport.
And
so you'd have to get yourself...
I'm about 90% sure of this, that Istanbul package includes the flight from Bucharest to Istanbul. I know we checked on it when we did this presentation a couple of weeks ago, and I believe that was the answer.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
So you've got to get yourself to the starting point and then home from the last point. So if you did the Vienna pre-cruise, you'd have to get yourself to Vienna, which you could arrange through AMA. But once you get to Vienna, they will get you from Vienna to Budapest to join the ship. And the same for the post. If you did, wherever it ends up. So if you did the Brasov extension, you would fly out of Bucharest. And if you didn't do it, you'd fly out of Bucharest also. If you do the Istanbul post-cruise extension, you would fly home from Istanbul. They will get you from Gigerzo or whatever and Bucharest to Istanbul.
That's
That's
correct.
part of the extension.
That's right. And it's important to note that booking your air with AMA is extremely important and beneficial to you. I will tell you that you are leaving the responsibility to AMA, and when there are flight changes and schedule changes, which happen all the time, I know I'm in airplanes more than I'm at home. And so with that being said, when there are those schedule changes, then we're responsible to take care of them and still ensure that you arrive in good order, in time, and, you know, take care of all those idiosyncrasies that would stem from a schedule change. But also, we deal with the major carriers. You can earn miles, and all of those other things that you look for. We try to do it with as few connections as possible and without the crazy long layovers and layovers that are also too short. Now, they will many times do what's called a legal layover, and that is when an airport determines how long a layover needs to be for you to make a connection. So that might be a legal layover of 40 minutes in one city, but an hour and 20 minutes is required in another. We make sure we meet all of those legal connection timeframes as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Does anybody else have any questions?
I do.
Yeah, Abby.
It has to do with the connections in the airports as well. So say I don't do the pre or post trips, but I book my air through AMA. Then the transfers come with that from the airport. And wonder if I come in a day before, because I generally come in a day before a cruise just to make sure I'm there. Do they also do hotels?
So that is something that we would have to work on for you. We can. Many times it ends up being a little more expensive than if you do one of our package offers coming in early. Like, it would be probably to your benefit to come in 2 days early, get our package, versus purchasing a transfer, purchasing a hotel, and then purchasing another transfer to get from a hotel to our ship. The reason why that becomes more pricey is now you're doing something very individualistic, and probably where we don't have a contract, or if we don't have a contract for just one room night, we're having to purchase one. So doing that on a piecemeal basis becomes a bit more pricey, but it can be done and we can do it. And Suzanne will work with our team to get that accomplished.
Well, I was going to say that's also where I come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I am very familiar with the hotels in Budapest. Steve and I have been talking about it. We're probably going to come in a couple days early.
2 or 3 days, probably, yeah.
Yeah, 2 or 3 days, because we love Budapest that much, and probably have our own independent hotel. I might even, if we have a big enough group, get a contract with that hotel so we have a locked-in group rate. So, and I can also tell you transfers in Budapest are because it's Hungary, it's not expensive. How much was our Uber to go to that wine tasting place, Steve, in downtown Budapest?
There was like 4 of us, and it was like $7.
Yeah,
For
it's
a 15-minute ride.
very inexpensive in this part of Eastern Europe. Yeah. So, and if we book our own transfers, you know, we can certainly book that for you as well. So.
Great.
All right. Well, I think that answers all the questions. Let's go ahead and stop the recording.